Hello everybody and welcome back to Empower Kids channel. Thank you for tuning in our last second step lesson. So this is not our last YouTube video for our channel, but it's only the last lesson of second step. So we will be starting a new curriculum on our YouTube channel, but this is going to be the last lesson about the second step. We have learned a lot about second step lessons, for an example, identifying feelings, strong feelings, strong emotions. We learn a lot during our after school programs, and we continued it through our YouTube channel. And so today is actually going to be the last second step lesson. So we are actually going to review today of all the lessons that we have learned. So let's start with last week's lesson. Last week you learned that when someone is calling you a mean name, you can ignore them or speak assertively. What is something that you could say? You could tell them that it's not okay to call me names. You can ask them to stop calling you names because you don't like it, right? Those are two ways that you can say assertively. We also learned that if you try ignoring them and you speak assertively telling them that you don't want to be called names, what is another option that you can do? I hope you said tell a grown-up. Yes, telling a grown-up will help. So remember, let's go through all three of them again. If someone is calling you a mean name, you can ignore them, speak assertively, and if they still don't stop, tell a grown-up. All right, perfect. So we're going to be diving into remembering all the other lessons that we've talked about. Here's a picture of a group of students also having their last second step lesson, just like you. Who else do you see in the picture? Puppy and Snell. Now let's see how many second step skills you remember. Turn on the parts of your brain that remembers things. You heard a story about Will, who didn't know the listening rules. Instead, he talked to his friend and didn't pay attention to his teacher. Show me how your body looks when you follow the listening rules. Count the rules on your fingers as you use self-talk to say them all. Hands up if you got all 4. Hooray! You also heard a story about Tiffany, who needed some help from her teacher. She had to use one of the skills for learning. Think about the skills for learning. Close your eyes and say all 4 in your head. Do you remember them? Focus attention, listen, use self-talk, and be assertive. Did you get them all? If you did, yay! You really know how to be learners. Let's sing the learner song and remember to make your attentoscopes.
Focus, focus, listen, listen, use your self-talk, be assertive, focus, focus, listen, use your self-talk, be assertive, focus, listen, use your self-talk, be assertive. This is the way we all can learn. This is the way we all can learn. First you focus, get your attention, use eyes and ears and brain. Now you listen, make sure you listen, use eyes and ears and brain. Use your self-talk, say I can do this, and focus, focus now. Be assertive, if you don't get it, just ask for help out loud. This is the way we all can learn. This is the way we all can learn. First you focus, get your attention, use eyes and ears and brain. Now you listen, make sure you listen, use eyes and ears and brain. Use your self-talk, say I can do this, and focus, focus now. Be assertive, if you don't get it, just ask for help out loud.
Snail often visited us during our second step lessons. They learned about identifying feelings and having empathy. For an example, is it okay to have different feelings about the same thing? Nod if you think yes. Yes, it is okay. Puppy Snail also learned that having empathy can help you get along with others. So we're going to be showing you pictures to remind you of the stories and friends that were shown in our lessons to help us learn about the lessons and skills to help us become better friends. Remember about Jarrell and how he missed out on the wonderful things that his classmates saw and did? Sitting by the fire truck, seeing flashing lights, trying on uniforms and boots, and handling some tools. So Jarrell was feeling disappointed, sad, and upset because he missed out on seeing the fun adventures of firefighters. Have you ever felt disappointed, sad, or upset? Do you guys remember about Nikki? She was learning how to subtract big numbers, and it's hard. She tried and tried but couldn't understand how to do it. She felt like tearing up her paper, and she felt like crying. Nikki felt frustrated. Frustrated feelings can happen when you're trying to do something difficult or new and you're not having success. Have you ever felt frustrated? Or been through a situation where you or a friend was frustrated? This lesson was about calming down anger. This is Chad and Bruce. Bruce was not wanting to share the basketball with Chad. So Chad felt angry. Angry is an uncomfortable feeling. Everyone feels angry sometimes, but it's important to calm down so you don't let those feelings get you in trouble. Remember, it's never okay to be mean or hurt someone else. Do you remember from the lesson what you can do when you are angry? You can practice belly breathing to calm down. Your tummy is right above where your belly button is. Putting your hands there helps you check in with how you're feeling. It also makes sure you do the right kind of breathing to calm you down. In this lesson, we learned about self-talk for calming down. We learned about how Tiffany was jealous that Rita got her work done early and was able to do a special project. With all those negative thoughts in Tiffany's head, Tiffany feels like putting her head down. So Tiffany was jealous of Rita, and it's natural to feel jealous about what someone else can do or gets to do, but sometimes the feeling is so strong your body feels uncomfortable and it's hard to think. So Tiffany uses her stop signal, names her feeling, and does some belly breathing to calm down. At first, Tiffany feels better, but then she starts thinking negative thoughts about all the things Rita gets to do, and she starts to feel uncomfortable again. Another way of calming down is to use positive self-talk, speaking quietly to yourself, or thinking positive things in your mind. In this lesson, we learned about managing worry. This story about Shane was that his dad was running late to pick him up from school. So Shane was worried that something happened to his dad. Shane felt worried and scared, and you could tell by his facial reaction, by his eyebrows being wrinkled, and he kept saying that he was worried. So what should Shane do? He calmed down, and he did the belly breathing exercise. So if you want to use 3 calming belly breaths for whenever you're managing worry, that can also help you to calm down. Shane also decided to talk to a grown-up to help himself feel better. In other lessons, you've talked about different grown-ups you could go to for help. Do you have a grown-up you can go to and talk to if you felt worried? You can also, to calm down, you can count to in your head, count forward or count backward, or count things around you to distract you from your worry. So all reviewing of the last lessons that we just reviewed about in their story pictures, they all learned how to calm down strong feelings. Pretend you're really angry and show me how to calm down. Did you do some of the examples that you just saw? If you got them all, give your neighbor a high five. Now let's sing along with the calm down song.
When your heart is all aflutter and you're panting like a dog, when your legs are feeling shaky and your mind is in a fog, it's time to put your hands on your tummy.
Hands on your tummy.
Then say stop.
Say stop.
Name your feeling.
Name your feeling.
Take a belly breath. And then you calm right down.
Calm right down.
When you've just been scared by something and your belly starts to ache. When you're really sad and worried and your hands begin to shake, it's time to put your hands on your tummy.
Hands on your tummy.
Then say stop.
Say stop.
And name your feeling.
Name your feeling.
Take a belly breath. And then you calm right down.
Calm right down.
Yeah, when you're bursting with excitement and you're spinning like a top, or when you've had a disappointment and your special plans went flop, it's time to put your hands on your tummy.
Hands on your tummy.
Then say stop.
Say stop.
Name your feeling.
Name your feeling.
Take a belly breath. And then you calm right down.
Calm right down.
Take a belly breath. And calm right down.
Calm right down.
Take a belly breath. And you calm right down.
Calm right down. You heard a story about Brianna and Anne. They had to use the problem-solving steps to solve their problem on the monkey bars. Close your eyes and say the problem-solving steps to yourself. Do you remember them? It was S, say the problem. T, think of solutions. E, explore the consequences. And P, pick the best solutions. Gerald and Julian had a problem with some classroom building materials, but they found out that playing in fair ways helped them both have fun. Think of all 3 fair ways to play that we learned. Put your hand up when you have remembered all 3, which were, do you guys remember? Sharing, trading, and taking turns. Hold up 3 fingers if you got all 3 right. Skills, or majority of them. I want you to think of one skill that you learned and have used. Ready? Think of the skill that you learned and used. Think it, have it in your head. And then on a count to 3, I want you to tell your brother, your sister, your cousin, your mom, your dad, whoever's in the house with you of that skill that you've learned and have used. Ready? And it's okay if you say it at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Identifying feelings. That one was mine. You can say yours. So I hope you said it. I hope there was a skill that you really enjoyed and have used. I hope you used more than one skill, but at least using one is good enough. So you guys have learned a lot of lessons in the second step curriculum, and this is going to help you to become better friends, better sons, better brothers, and so I hope that you really enjoy these lessons. So I want you guys to have a big round of applause for yourself. Yay, for learning a lot and using it. Puppy and Snell will be visiting us still as we continue on with the new curriculum. Thank you for joining us and sticking it out with us with the second step curriculum, and we will see you guys next week.